So this afternoon's topic is the keys to grace and the art of blessing things. And I think that all around every presentation about dowsing, whether it's tangible target dowsing, looking for water, looking for minerals, missing things, or intangible target dowsing, looking at health and subtle energies and so forth, really the context of every conversation is consciousness itself. Because dowsing is a tool of our mind. It's a tool of consciousness, and it is, as we know, sensitive to the condition of our mind, the condition of our consciousness. How many people have been frustrated with their dowsing, for example, if they've been very tired, or if they've been very attached to an outcome, or they haven't had enough information, perhaps, or they can't get enough distance? Have we all had difficulty with our dowsing because of the state of our thoughts, or our feelings, or our circumstances? Clearly. So we understand this, and as dowsers we understand this. Sometimes our public is not quite so sympathetic to this. Notoriously, dowsers are put under test circumstances, for example, where they're expected to perform to a very high level, often on a task that they've never actually done before, which as dowsers we know is a tricky thing. We tend to be good at the things that we do a lot and repeatedly, and that are familiar to us. But even so, under scrutiny of non-sympathetic gaze or television camera, then very often we actually underperform as dowsers. There's a stress or performance anxiety that gets in. An equally valid, if frankly not more valid, tool of research analysis is the retrospective trial, the retrospective analysis, where you look at somebody's success rate in the field rather than under lights and cameras. And what we find then is that the top professional dowsers, documented over 500 to 2,000 jobs, for example, are coming in somewhere around 98 to 98.5% successful, which is astonishingly high. But the components to that are the dowser is in the field doing their dowsing, actually, on task and in a situation of response to need, and also, presumably, they're there by invitation, or at least with permission. So where there's open permission and invitation, where there's real need, and where the dowser has an opportunity to really be in their own zone, then we see very high success rates, particularly with people dowsing for the same thing again and again and again that they've done before. They know they can do find the water, find the water, find the water, for example. So that's sort of just contextualizing that we're understanding this is a tool of consciousness. It's sensitive to consciousness, and consciousness really is what we need to consider, partly because it's fascinating in and of itself, but also because the more we understand the factors pertaining to our art, then the better at our art we can be. And clearly we want to be as successful, as effective, as reliable, as useful as we can be as dowsers. And so this afternoon's session is really looking at the consciousness around both divination and manifestation. So we'll start off just considering strategies for entering and maintaining a grace state, and then we'll look at some of the technology behind that. We looked at a little bit of that this morning already. We'll look at that a little bit more, and then we'll consider both the vertical and the horizontal mapping of consciousness.